Hi everyone, it's the holiday season, so let's make some sugar cookies. These cookies are soft and delicious and do not spread when they are baking. I've listed all the ingredients here. First, we're going to sift for flour and cornstarch into a bowl and then add in the baking powder and mix these together and set this aside for later. In a stand mixer fitted with the paddle attachment, or you can do this by hand, we're going to add in our butter and beat this until it is creamy. Next, add in the powdered sugar and beat these together until they are light, fluffy, and have a pale yellow color. Make sure to scrape the bowl in between mixing these two ingredients together. Our mixture is now light, fluffy, and has a pale yellow color. So now we're going to add in our egg and our vanilla. Mix these ingredients until they are well incorporated. They will first start to look curd-like, but continue mixing and it will be creamy again, just like this. With the mixer on speed stir, gradually add in the dry ingredient mixture from earlier, which is the flour, cornstarch, and baking powder, and go ahead and mix this until everything is well incorporated. This is how your dough should look like. It is now ready. If you're using a stand mixer, the dough may look wet, but if you grab a piece of the dough, it's actually very soft and forms very well. Next, transfer the dough into a plastic bag or wrap it in plastic wrap. Press on the dough to form a thick disc as shown in this video and refrigerate the dough for 1 hour. Once the dough is chilled for 1 hour, go ahead and remove it and roll the dough onto a lightly floured surface to 1/4 inch thickness. Cut out shapes of your cookies using cookie cutters. I'm using these small cookie cutters and some larger one that I'll show later. I also have all-purpose flour here, which I like to dip the cookie cutter on first. That way it's easier for the cookie to come off and not stick to the cookie cutter. This is how I'm cutting out my cookies. Place the cookie cutouts onto a baking sheet or parchment paper. Repeat the process with the cookie cutter of choice and re-roll the dough as needed. If you want to add sanding sugar to your cookies, you'll need to melt some unsalted butter. Lightly brush the melted butter onto the top of the cookie, and then you'll want to sprinkle or follow as what I'm showing in this video on how to add the sanding sugar on top. For the next step, I do recommend refrigerating your cookie cutouts for 30 minutes before you bake, just to ensure that they don't spread because they've been sitting at room temperature. So after 30 minutes, they're ready to be baked. This is how they look like. So we're going to bake our cookies at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 14 minutes, depending on the size of your cutouts. Our cookies now are all done with the baking, so we'll need to remove this from the oven and let our cookies cool before serving or before we decorate them. You can decorate them with royal icing or serve as is. Thank you for watching. I hope this tutorial was helpful.